Okay, this is my son, Jake Barrett. He's 17 years old. He's a senior. And we thought we might share some information for you because he was diagnosed Asperger's when he was. Do you remember what age, Jake?
No, I don't think so. I'd imagine sometime
2011,
around,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
perhaps. Are you
When we
sure it wasn't
first.
earlier? No, it wasn't earlier.
No. So, I just wanted you guys to have a little example of a day in the life of someone who has Asperger's. And I'm going to ask him some questions. So, okay, Jake, um, what is Asperger's?
Well, well, for for me, Asperger's is just an is just almost like just a genetic way of how some people think in a different way, and for me, I believe that's true. I think much differently than people. I process and learn things differently than other people.
Okay, can you give an example?
Um, well, sometime, back when I was young, I think I mostly would learn a whole lot more, but visually, more mainly by watching things, and then and then trying to imagining things I would always look at people what they would do and and to see, and try to figure out reasons for why they did it a certain way. And this would also apply to movies and TV shows. That's why I would recite a lot, I guess, because I'm wondering if hey, this is the good guy in the show. This is the superhero. What's making them like that? Is it just their behavior? If I copy that, am I gonna be like a good person growing up or something?
Okay. How do you feel about having Asperger's?
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's no big deal. There may have been like some struggles when I was younger and all. But, learning how the world works and learning that what learning like who I am and how and who other people are and how do I communicate and be sociable with them. Even sometimes, today I'm still learning, but it's no big deal. It's for me, it's just how life is working for me.
Okay,
It's almost my story, I guess.
your story.
For me, I like to think my story is a man trying to be the best that he can be, and for me, it's just this. It's like that, just a little bit different.
Okay. Do you have any other learning issues that you know about?
I'd say my number one learning issue is if it's not something that I'm interested in or grabs my attention immediately, then it's not something I'll automatically be focused on and want to be focused on or something like that.
Okay.
So if I'm so that's something I'm trying to learn to deal with. I'm there's some classes that are teaching me stuff that I'm not exactly interested in, but I know I have to do it in order to get good grades and stuff. So I'm trying to learn to make it a necessity for me.
Okay. Do you have any processing disorders?
Yes, I guess in a sense. Sometimes I don't always tell when a person really is being sarcastic or trying to be funny with me, or sometimes I read people's emotions wrong, I guess.
Okay. Well, remember how we've talked about you have auditory processing
Yes.
issues? Do you know what that means to you?
That's that's like a hearing people like hearing the words coming from them.
Uh huh. And how does that work?
Well, when I was usually younger, if somebody it would say to me something like hey your bro- hey your brother there's kind of a kind of a dummy, isn't he? Or and I would immediately assume that he's being a bully or something like that. But then when in reality he was just messing around, trying to be funny. I guess. I mean, I know that's not the best analogy, but still.
You're speaking of sarcasm. That's what you're speaking of.
Yes, sarcasm.
I'm talking about auditory processing. The reason why you have to have a recorder. Why do you need a recorder in a class? Or why do you have trouble in when you're in a group forum with auditory processing? What happens?
I guess maybe I'm trying to catch what the teacher is saying one thing at a time, and I'm trying to catch it all down and trying to understand it, but I'm guessing I'm doing it at a slower rate than he's going. And so I'm using the recorder so in case if I missed anything, like in case he went too fast for me, then I can go back and see what I missed. So I'm getting all of it, just a little bit slower. I'm trying to understand it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think sometimes you respond slower as well because you're thinking of the answer as well?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. Do you ever have any sensory overload issues?
When I was younger, oh yes.
Give examples.
Just some small things like Dad turning on an air compressor to put airs in the tire of the car. The noise the air compressor would make was loud and irritating and always hurt my ears.
Okay. Is there any other ones that you remember?
Little girls screaming. I remember when I was younger in classes, one of the most annoying things in the world for me at that time was hearing a little girl scream at the top of her lungs over nothing at all, like the lights coming off.
And what would that do to you?
It usually would always hurt. If I was close enough, it would hurt my ears. Like if I was close enough, or if there was just a large amount of girls, it would hurt my ears and make me want to do something about it. Put my hands to my ears and block out the sound. It's too much for me.
Okay. Do you ever use stemming strategies?
Tell me what that is.
We already talked about what stemming was like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And you told me you didn't, so.
Well, yeah, I guess not.
Okay. So you don't think that you have any stemming strategies to calm you or to make you feel better?
Actually, there may be some, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I believe you might have misunderstood a little bit what I said. Like the sensory overload I would have and the urge to want to move if I was sitting in a way that was uncomfortable for me. It was a problem for me, and then I would have to move in order to make myself feel comfortable again.
So you think moving a lot helps you to get comfortable? Is that what you're saying?
In some scenarios, or I don't know. I believe like if for someone to do something that makes them comfortable, they have to do something that they like, and they try to find multiple ways to do that. Like I recited to myself.
What's reciting? So they know what reciting is.
For me, reciting was watching a TV show or a movie and remembering all the lines that the hero would say or the villain would say, and sort of just I remembered them so I could say them out loud again to almost make me imagine the movie playing again and made me feel like I was in it or something. And this for me used to be entertaining. It was almost like creating my own little world. Like, you know how people would say, like, most of the time it's like my kid's in his own little universe. Well, for me that wasn't true. I mean, when I personally come to think when kids are still trying to figure out what is reality, they're having a hard time understanding it. They like to create their own little reality that help give them an understanding, I guess.
Okay. Um, do you like to make eye contact with people? Why or why not?
I don't know. In some cases, I mean, in some cases, maybe not. Maybe not. Or because if somebody would stare at me long enough, if it were a mad or disappointed gaze, I wouldn't really want to see that, so I would want to look away.
Okay. Okay.
But there are sometimes I didn't mind it at all.
Okay. Do you feel like you've had to work on eye contact?
I guess so. I mean, I guess there were also times where, growing up, I had my own sense of an idea of what might have been necessary for and what wasn't necessary, and a lot of times I thought eye contact wasn't necessary for a few things.
Okay.
I thought, I mean, when talking to a person, I didn't always think that eye contact was necessary. I thought, okay, just say the words and he hears them. That's what's important when you're talking to someone.
Yeah. Do you think it's important now? What does eye contact mean?
Eye contact now means that it's showing signs of respect, or not only that, it shows signs of value, and it shows people that you're listening.
Okay. All right. Is it hard for you to communicate?
Not really. There may be some rare occasions where I'm in some situations and I don't know what to say. Like, I'm 17, so I'm not an adult yet. So there may be some adults who may have problems that I don't know exactly how to communicate with them, or how to engage in a conversation about that stuff if I've never experienced those things, and hence I don't know how to deal with them and don't know what they're like.
Then why do you think you have Asperger's? Isn't Asperger's a social disorder?
Mm, well, I don't know. I mean, for me, it wasn't a disorder at all. It was just a different way of learning how to communicate and learn. Don't we all learn and communicate differently? We all have our own personalities and our own point of views. So, in my opinion, it wasn't that at all.
Okay. What's your opinion then?
I was just a I was just a kid trying to figure out what was right and what was wrong, what I was, how reality works, and then how I'm able to find my own place in all of it, I guess.
Okay. Why do you believe you were not social when you were young?
I bel mainly because mainly because I learned differently and understood things differently, but some people didn't realize that. They don't understand how I felt and how I think differently, and how I didn't understand, and it was the same with me to them. I didn't understand how they think or how they learned and how they felt, and so I didn't know how to deal with them. And in some occasions, like maybe some few annoying or bad times where I've tried communicating, and I felt like it didn't work. Like either I still didn't understand them, or I thought I made a fool of myself or something like that. It just made me want to be alone, because I felt like if I was alone, I wouldn't have to deal with those problems.
Oh,
But I come to believe that maybe perhaps I wasn't it wasn't good for me. Perhaps I felt like when I was alone trying to figure out all this stuff, I'm all thinking, yeah, yeah, I actually am alone. There is no one exactly like me. There is no one who thinks exactly the way I do, or feels or has the same point of view as me. And so this would create a little bit of loneliness and eventually would make me want to communicate and be sociable with others. But when times where that wouldn't always work, sometimes it made me want to give up a little bit and just would be alone to, I don't know, I guess train myself how to deal with it. Like, hey, if you're not going to fit well with others, then just learn how to deal with it, I guess. But this ultimately wouldn't work, and because I would always have the desire to want to be with people and want to learn and would want to be sociable because I knew that if I continued to be like this, continue to be alone, things would get dull and incredibly lonely and sad. So I had to keep trying, and a lot of times it would be back and forth. Like sometimes I'd want to keep going, then other times I'd want to quit. But as time grew and I grew and I understood things, I say made great progress, and I have general ideas how some people are and how I am, and that I don't know if all and no one and I'm also learning now that technically you'll never have a complete understanding of somebody or everybody. Like I mean, people change as life continues. So how's their full understanding if everybody changes?
Okay. Were you bullied in public school?
Yes, I was.
How many times do you think you were bullied?
Um, from occasions, I don't. From multiple occasions, I don't know. I believe it would just come every once in a while, or like, or sometimes I would get it on only a few rare occasions. But then I would just have, and then again, sometimes I would just have my bad days where like a bully would rag on me one day, and the next day he would rag on me again.
Why do you think they bullied you?
I don't know. I mean, I guess some people may have had like their their own their own values and what they thought of and insecurities of what they thought good and bad of themselves, and maybe perhaps when they were still a little bit upset and confused with themselves and they saw somebody maybe who was a little bit felt a little bit more good about themselves, then they wanted to bring that down to their level. Or if they saw somebody who felt something that was similar to theirs, or maybe a little bit worse, maybe they saw this as an opportunity to put themselves higher above them by kicking on someone who was lesser than them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, at least that's my perspective.
Okay. What has been the biggest influence in your life to help you?
And I would say personally God, because with growing up as a Christian, I have developed my own moral code and my sense of what is definitely right and what is definitely wrong, and also God has given me love and mercy and forgiveness and repentance, and showing me that I could be better. Back when I was younger, not only did I feel like nobody understood me, I also felt like I was the underdog and stuff. Sometimes I didn't really know what I was good at and what I was bad. What I was good at, but I knew what I was bad at. I was small, I was scrawny, I was skinny, wasn't the best at sports, wasn't the very smartest. I knew more about animals than anybody else did, but still, like, I wasn't considered the smartest, because wouldn't it would take me longer to get my work done.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times I felt like the underdog, someone who wasn't the best at things.
Okay.
And I guess God just kept the idea of God and what he really feels about me and how he died on the cross for me, just gave me a sense like hey, that's all right. I can be better. I can find my own values and be good at what I love.
Okay.
I can grow and be a better man.
Okay. Um, do you ever wonder why God made you special like this?
Oh yeah, there were many times where I've always thought to myself like God, why am I like this? Why am I so different? How come I don't understand people? How come they don't understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I think like them? Why can't I just be like them so I wouldn't have to deal with these problems?
Well, what has God revealed to you?
That no that everybody that he made people differently because everyone's special. He made everybody different because he's given everybody a different purpose.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else you want to share?
Mm, I would say, well, for those of you might out there who might have Asperger's or autism or might have any feelings similar to mine, then just remember this: like you do need people, you do need love and grace, compassion. You need support. You need all that stuff in order to get you to keep going through life in order to like follow your dreams, have happiness and satisfaction. So no matter how hard things get, you gotta remember to keep going and do not give up because giving up and turning to something else isn't gonna make anything better. So I um, urge all you guys out there who might not be so sociable, keep trying to be sociable with other people because you need them more than you know.
Okay. Thank you, babe. I love you.
Love you too, Ma.